Hello, guys. I think we are on
Hello.
live. Okay.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today to this spectacular event 24 Hours of Chaos. We are the show
Latinoamérica.
for, yes, representing Latin America. And okay, well, my name is Ricardo Ortiz, product specialist at Chaos. And today I have the privilege to be host of this event together with my partners in crime. And also, we will have a stunning lineup for speakers, very talented guys from different countries: Argentina, Colombia, Mexico. Great. But
Yay.
before we get started, let me introduce my co host, Dana and Nancy.
Oli.
Hi
Hello,
guys.
guys.
So, hello everyone. I want to introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Daniela Bringas. I'm a senior digital artist working at Neoscape, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. This is the third year in a row that I'm here presenting. Second year as a host. So I'm so excited
Yeah.
because second year with you and Rodrigo. Sorry, I'm nervous.
Okay,
Ricardo,
okay.
Ricardo and Nancy.
Ricardo.
So I'm sorry, this happening when you are live. So
Things happen.
yeah, and by the way, guys, if you saw the video that was at the beginning, don't forget the raffle. And you have to pay attention to this show because the prizes at the end are gonna be amazing. So don't forget to participate. The hashtags already there and we have it on our Instagram. So I'm so happy to be here, Nancy.
Hey. Hello, everyone. My name is Nancy Moreno. I am a freelance 3D artist and architect, and I am very happy to be here. I'm so excited. And I would like to thanks to Chaos for the invitation to this amazing event one more time this year. And also want to thanks to all the all the staff behind of all of this because we all do this. We do this happen. And yeah, so we have prepared a great show for all of you. So welcome everyone.
That's so
Great.
nice.
Thank you so much for accepting to be.
One eternity later.
Hi everyone, welcome to show 4.
That was so nice. So thank you,
Perfect.
Nancy. Thank you, Nancy, to create this amazing intro. It was so fun. It was so funny. It really represents how long it took
We
us
did
to
the thing.
to, to organize ourselves. So
Yes.
I want to share with you the lineup of tonight. And the how is gonna be presenting each one. So first we're gonna have Mora Vieytes from Argentina. Then we're gonna have Cristian Bolivar from Colombia, and then Zuren from Mexico, and Fernando Campos from Mexico too. So how are you tonight, guys? I hope
How
you're
are
so
you?
excited. How are you, Mora? Tell me.
I'm great. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here with all of you. So much talent here. I'm so excited. Yeah.
That's so
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
How are you, Christian?
Hi, doing great. It's actually morning here in Sydney, so I'm just having
Whoa.
my coffee here. So very excited to be here. Very happy. Thanks for having me.
Great.
Thanks.
That's so
Thanks for
great.
being here.
What about you, Isaac?
I'm great. Thankful for being invited by Chaos. It's my first time here, so yeah, it's a lot to learn and a lot of people to to meet.
Yeah, we are pretty
Of
sure you
course,
will enjoy it.
yeah.
And how are you, Fer?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for inviting me to share with this amazing artist. So also it's my first time, but I hope that I'm going to doing well.
Of
So nice.
course you
All of
will.
you're
Of
gonna do
course.
incredible. Don't worry.
That's
And
good.
also, we are Latino Americans. We speak Spanish is our native language. We're gonna speak Spanglish sometimes. Español para los que nos
Pueden
entienden.
hablar.
Pueden hablar si se sienten con la comunidad de hablar español. It's okay.
Exacto.
So let's start with the show.
So let's continue with the show, and I would like to introduce a very talented artist. She's so fun and relaxed and very creative. She has a unique style and super colorful that I really love. Also, you can notice that she loves that she does and she enjoys it. She is freelance 3D artist and designer, focusing on lettering and illustration. And I want to give a warm welcome to Mora Vieytes. She's from Argentina and she has prepared a video for all of us. Let's go and see what she has to show us.
Great.
Let's play her video, please.
Hello Chaos community, my name is Mora Vieytes and I am a 3D artist and creative designer from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I am so excited to be here and to have the opportunity to show you a bit of my work. I specialize on 3D lettering, illustration and concept art, and also motion design. I'm a one-person studio. I do everything from concept art to 3D modeling to sending emails, invoicing, quotes, keeping schedules, client outreach, everything. On social media, I like to share personal projects inspired by my daily life and the things I like to do. Lettering is the beautiful art of hand-drawing letters from scratch. I have a fun approach to lettering, and I combine it with illustration to generate colorful compositions. Before we dive into the projects I'll be showing you today, I want to tell you about my background and how I became a 3D artist. Growing up, I was really into playing video games, watching cartoons, drawing, and building stuff with my Legos. Moving forward many years, I studied graphic design at Buenos Aires University and graduated back in 2012. During the last year of my career, I wanted to experiment with skills that I wasn't finding on the curricula. So I took a course, a 3D course, on a different institution called Da Vinci School of Design, also in Buenos Aires, to learn about 3D because at that time I was really into CG movies like Toy Story. I really enjoyed the course and learning about 3D, but I didn't really know what to do or how to use these new skills. I was also finishing my career and so I didn't do anything with these new skills I had. And for a long time, I thought I was over with the 3D world. After I got my design degree, I started working in a small design studio, but eventually I started feeling creatively frustrated. And that's when 3D modeling came back into my life, and this time it stayed for good. For the next few years, I kept my daytime job, moving from design studios and advertising agencies while working on side projects in 3D illustration, building a portfolio and sharing my work on social media and creative networks. This led to more and more clients reaching out to work with me from all over the world. By the end of 2017, I was basically living a double life, designer by day and 3D artist by night. I was working crazy hours, and that was really affecting my mental health. So I had a decision to make, and the decision I made was to go full-time freelance as a 3D artist. Now that the introductions are over, it's time for the fun stuff. Let's take a look at some projects. I absolutely love Halloween. And since we don't really celebrate it here in Argentina, I always do a celebratory illustration for my social media. So working on this project with one of my favorite TV networks was an absolute dream job. What happens when you combine chocolate with Santa Claus? Well, you get an awesome Christmas campaign. Having personal projects has always been a habit of mine. Working on personal explorations is the perfect way to try new things, and it really helps with my creative motivation. And that's a wrap. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks so much, Chaos, for having me.
No, so nice. No. Bravo, Mora.
Oh,
That was amazing.
love it.
It was amazing, Mora. I really love it.
Oh, thank you. I was quite nervous looking at it. I was like, okay.
It's
No,
you on
you
the
did it
screen.
great.
Well, I really loved your presentation, Mora. It was really dynamic and enjoy, and at the same time peaceful. I don't know how to say it. And also, I have a question for you. Um, how do you approach to your unique style? I saw you change in the process, so I would like to know how do you get to the final piece. Can you tell us?
Well, yeah, sure. Well, actually, like developing your style as an artist, I think at least it's like a combination of different things. And like, for example, I started modeling letters because I have a background in graphic design, and so typography has always been a huge part of my skills. And when I started 3D modeling, it was only normal for me to, pour my typography and letters knowledge into the 3D work I was doing.
Okay.
But for like specific projects, I usually, like for the, I don't know, perhaps the Nickelodeon project, I always start doing sketches, and I love Halloween, so that
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
Yeah,
sprung
me
out
too.
of me easily. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
Halloween!
actually,
And so
Super
I can.
Mora.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so much. Yeah, it was so much fun. It's like a natural expression of myself.
Okay.
But I usually do quite different sketches, trying shapes and morphologies, and of course colors. Like selecting the color palette is super important for me. I
Yes.
think it sets the tone for every piece of work I do. And
Okay.
so sometimes I would even start by choosing the color palette first.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I try different shapes and morphologies, then I need to have like the basic 2D sketch ready, and that's when I go into 3D modeling. And I think that most of the style that I have truly comes from the 2D work I do at the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that, and also the fact that, when you developing a style, it's something that comes with the habit of doing it. You
Mm-hmm.
do something so many times, like over and over again, and the style of something just like emerges on its own. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's there. uh,
It was
like,
always
yeah,
there.
hi, I've been looking for you. And it just comes out. And
Yeah,
so yeah, that's what I think.
understand.
Great.
Oh,
That's
very
amazing, Mora.
interesting. Yes.
And
Yeah.
actually, I can say that the Halloween's project is my favorite one.
Mine too.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's
I
super cool.
actually worked with Nickelodeon 2 years, like on 2020 and on 2021 for the Halloween IDs.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's so
I
nice.
combined them in the presentation. I combined both because, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was being
Super.
economy with the time. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I worked with them 2 years.
No, that's
Super
so
nice.
nice, Mara. And also, I want
Yeah.
to say that I'm so proud that you are tonight with us because you are encouraging women in the industry that right now we are few, we are not so many. So I'm so happy that right now you are representing all girls that are there, that they can see like, oh, we can do not only architectural visualization or VFX, we
Exactly.
can do
Yes.
something new, and what you are doing is really new. I when I saw your work for the first time, I was so shocked and so impressed of what beautiful work you have. So thank you so much for sharing this tonight. It is amazing, by the way. And maybe I have a question for you. Why not? So I want to ask, do you have any advice for women or any beginner person aspiring in the CG industry?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I would say that first, like for every person is, that wants to start in the 3D world, like don't be afraid to share your work. Sometimes when you're new and are comparing yourself to what others are doing, it's like kind of intimidating, and you think, oh no, my work is not ready to be shown yet. I'm not going to do that. And no, you should totally be, don't be afraid to share your work, put it out there. And not only, I mean, not mainly because, perhaps you won't receive feedback, or perhaps you post it on Instagram and perhaps only like 10 people will see it, and that's okay too. I'm just like trying to get the exercise of you as an artist to put yourself out there. That's like the most important part, I think. So don't be afraid to share your work on creative networks and social media. And for women specifically, I mean, on Instagram, I do follow a lot of girls in the 3D world, and I think we're doing pretty awesome. Like a lot of designers also. But
Yay.
yay,
Yes.
we are growing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I personally never work like in a big production company, and so I wouldn't know like if like it's a boys club out there. I'm thinking that maybe it is, but I mostly just work for myself. So I would have to say that, it's the same advice I would give to any artist. Show your work, be there, own it, be present with the work that you do, and of course you there's always room to evolve and to grow as an artist, but you should always show your work. Don't be afraid of sharing it.
Great.
Perfect
That's so
advice.
nice. Thank you.
Okay.
I hear, Rich, we have
So,
a question
Yes,
for
actually,
the.
I'm the technical guy. I'm product specialist. So when I see some projects, my focus is on the details, and I saw the subsurface scatter, the grooming of the characters. I would like to ask you about your workflow. For example, could you be so kind to share a little bit about your software?
Oh, yeah, sure. I use 3ds Max for modeling, and
Great.
for like for more organic stuff, I used to use ZBrush, but eventually I shift into Nomad Sculpt because I can do it on my iPad, and I don't
Oh,
know, it's kind of more accessible, like easier. And then for like, of course, lighting and shading and all that, I use 3ds Max as well, and V-Ray as an external render engine. And that's it. I have, well, no, those are basically all the softwares I use. Oh, when I make like small animations, I use After Effects. Um, but yeah, that's it.
and which part of your process do you enjoy most?
Oh, I like all the parts. Yeah. For example, when I'm
Yes.
drawing letters, I really like drawing it on paper, or like a piece of paper, or perhaps on my iPad. And then I have to vector that and then take it to 3ds Max. And I like all the parts. Sometimes I get quite anxious when I have to in the 3D modeling phase, because like, there's a lot of things, and I'm quite like obsessed with having a clean mesh.
Yeah.
um, so I have to make everything perfect. But after that,
nice.
yeah, then I add the lights, add the shading, and start testing renders. And I am so happy when I see like the final render. It's like my creative baby. I'm like, oh,
Perfect. Yeah, they all
yeah.
are our babies.
Great.
That's so
So,
amazing. Thank you so much, Mora. This was incredible. And let's start with our new speaker, that is Cristian Bolivar. I want to share only a few things about Cristian. Christian is from Colombia, who has a very unique style. He has 7 years of experience and has worked with different projects such as Love, Death, and Robots, that I know that many people here love that show, like me. Um, he also has worked in Thunder God's Tale with Stonko House, and currently he works as a texturing artist in ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, in Australia. So I know that it's very late there. What time is it right now?
Hello. Actually, it's the morning. It's 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Good
So
morning.
So
good
this
morning.
morning,
morning.
just about to having my breaky. So yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. So when you are ready to start your presentation,
Sure thing. So let me introduce myself.
of course.
Perfect.
Mm, So I'm ready now. I'm sharing my screen now. Gotcha.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, got it. So I'm Christian from Bogota. You can call me Chris. I have a background in filmmaking and photography. Since very young, I always love like creative stuff, mm, like music, video games, cartoon shows, all this kind of stuff. And, and also, I've been always been a little bit nerd about technology stuff. So I found in CGI the sweet spot for doing these two things together. So I slowly moved into post production. I started as comper, then I moved to lighter, and nowadays as surfacing artist. So let me introduce my journey from advertising to work on blockbusters. So the path, as Mortal, I've been working on for 7 years in the industry, in advertising, film, and illustration in positions as texture artist, look dev, grooming, and lighting. This is a few of the studios I've been working on as freelance, as full time, from different countries, mainly Latin America and here in Australia. Maybe some of those will be recognizable, not or not at all, but maybe the most famous is ILM and Token House. And maybe the paths from Latin America will know 3DR. So yeah, this has been such a great experience working for these many people because I have gathered so many friends in the past, such nice people that has really helped me to grow up as an artist. So my first job was in advertising back in Colombia. I did a very long career in advertising from junior to lead. That was an interesting stage of my life because most of the people when get into 3D stars as generalists, making everything, like from animation, modeling, writing, whatever. So here is where I start to find my way into things. And I realized that I was good making things look good. So I moved around look dev, lighting, grooming. So I worked for lots of projects, 5 years working there, for lots of brands from Latin America, Europe, and USA a little bit. Maybe some Latin America peps will recognize a few of these characters. One of the nice things about advertising is how diverse the projects are and how quickly they are, because you have, for example, in a month, you can have like 3 to 4 projects easily, and very different each to other, like a product job, like a character, like a fluids, whatever. And that really helped me to develop my skills in different directions and, have different perspectives from the same thing. The bad thing is that most of us should know that advertising can get very overwhelming due to the the naturality of the industry and the Apple clients. So I got burned out in 2020. A year with, it wasn't good for most of us. So I got burned out. That's the same year I became the lead, having lots of responsibilities that I didn't expect. And yeah, I just got burned out and I applied to every single studio in the world to have a new job. And because I want to make different deals, because one of the the deal breakers of being in a leadership position is that you have to leave behind a little bit your artist position. So I want, because and at that time I still having, I have so much to learn, and okay, I don't want to be leading, I want to be still learning. So I moved away from advertising at that time. After 5 years, that was quite a hard decision for me. After advertising, what it came for me, lots of things that were very unexpected, and I want to really highlight 2 projects that were very important for me. First of all, I broke my bubble. I was so afraid of getting a new job. At the same time that I wanted to go out on advertising, for me was so afraid to try new things. And I got incredible opportunities from the more unexpected uh, ways. And there are 2 projects that I really love. The first one, and most of you should recognize, is Hero, the episode for Love, Death, and Robots Season 3. I had the huge chance to work on this project beside a crazy people, super talented, the always incredible Alberto Mielgo. And I learned a lot of stuff. I was doing mainly grooming and look depth in this project, mainly for the main characters and some characters in the background. It was a very good project, and another good project was the Token House project, Oni, God Thunder Tales. Was a super nice project, also with lots of nice people working beside. Also, projects as freelance artists was a great time to me because being a freelance for a little time gives me the flexibility to find myself again. But that was a deal breaker for me. I'm a teammate, dude. I love to be part of a team and have, and contribute to a team and feel like I'm part of something. So after that, it became the next step in my life. This is when I joined Industrial Light and Magic. This was like my dream job always because I always have loved Star Wars and Jurassic Park and Transformers and Marvel. We all love that. Most of us in the industry, at least. And it was super excited. I moved continents. I moved from Colombia to Australia in middle of high restrictions due to to the pandemic and COVID. In a a leap of faith to me because this is my very first big studio, and it's been an incredible experience for me. How much I have learned. It's my longest time being in a single position because back in the day, I always was jumping between positions, between lighting, look depth, grooming, all that. Here I've been settled only as texture artist, some love depth, and I've learned it a lot, a lot. I've been working beside people that have incredible experience. People have been working in the industry for years, even before I even know what a polygon was. And this incredible, I've been working in incredible projects, doing incredibly complex stuff, super complex stuff that I feel very happy to be there. I always feel very supported and surrounded by these talented people. And yeah, I've been working on a couple of Star Wars, Marvel, and DC projects. And recently in Rings of Power that is being screening already on Amazon Prime, so you can take a look if you want. This looks very neat, in my opinion. So yeah, that's been my journey to this. It's been long. I have to make it shorter, but it's been a long path from working, making prototype shots to make chips for Star Wars. It's a very, very, very incredible process to me. Now I'm doing this presentation. I just seeing what I've done is incredible, and I feel thankful for all without the people that have been supporting me through this path. So now let's start a little bit about myself or what I do, and probably what most of people know me for is my personal stuff. I think it's important for all as an artist to still doing personal projects. At least it is for me because I still having fun in what I do and keeps me inspired and has lots of benefits, because you don't have deadlines, you don't have clients, you don't have rules at all. You can learn new things, try new things. Normally, in your job site, you can do it never because it's not allowed, or you don't have the possibilities. Explore things and discover yourself as an artist. This is the way I like to do this 3D illustration with a very, what to say, like photography intention. Because this is that's my background. I am a photographer and filmmaker, and I want to transmit that into what I do. And this is the way I still know it myself. And when I do this, I also it has helped to keep my actual job better because one thing fits the other. It doesn't make sense. I'm not sure about. And it's been this I always doing personal projects. I'm trying to do different things. I do 3D adaptations of things that you never could imagine as 3D adaptations. For example, this little guy from the video game Grease is maybe not super famous, but giving some shout out to them. I also love animals, so you will see animals in lots of in my in my personal projects. And also personal projects help me a lot to get new jobs. The main reason why I got the job in Finland to join Love, Death and Robots was because of these folks, because it was entirely done in Houdini, and they were looking for a Houdini artist to join in the production, and also was because of the folks that I joined the Token House project. And this plus my experience I already have and was the perfect match for this project. So I really encourage yourself to keep doing personal projects and trying to find your way because in my personal experience, it really helped me to keep growing as an artist and still, still exploring myself, my individuality. Because one of the things that you know, there is a thing that you always have to keep in mind is that if you are working in VFX or animation industry, that it's a team effort, and that you always be a team. That you just will be always being a part of a big team. They're a very big team, and sometimes you forget about it or you are too consumed about it. And making this personal stuff is like remember yourself that you can do, you have your own vision, of making things and really push you a little bit. And that also helps to keep you inspired and don't get bored about your profession, because it's normal to get being jaded or tired of doing this for so many years. So what's next? Oh, thank you. What's sure? What's the next? Yeah. So thank you so much. It was shorter than expected, or maybe I just rushing myself.
That was
No words
great.
at all. Actually, you can share anything else if you want. And speaking about burning out, I have a question for everyone. Obviously,
Yes.
how to deal with frustration in such a creative and demanding job like this? Because it's complicated, actually.
Yes.
How to deal with the frustration?
Uh, for me, was I really get to a late conclusion when I was working on advertising, and that's what I was doing wasn't for me.
Okay.
So, so yes, and just was for a client, and he was what he want. I know sometimes you want to do it the project in a different way. Even in the business and animation project work is the same. You want to do things different, but you have to keep in mind that at the end of today is not for you, and so you have just try to do your best in between the requirements. And yeah, maybe that's why I think it's important to keep doing personal stuff for this. Where do you find a spot to be yourself when you are working in a company?
Oh, that's so nice, Christian. And yeah, and I agree with you. I think we as a creatives, we have deal with the burnout at least one time in our lives. So I think to breathe and to do something else, not only be working and trying to reach that like perfection like we all the time want to do. I would say this is a great advice that you are saying. Thank you for so much for sharing this. And also, I think I have a question
Shoot me.
uh, about your presentation because I love your projects. It's a very unique the style that you have. It's like I can recognize who did the, like one of these amazing, like for example cute animals like that bee. That was my
Thank you.
favorite. uh, what is the project that you have done that you like the most? Because I know that you enjoy every detail, like to put like this pollen in the face, and but I would
Mm.
like to know which one is your favorite that you have done.
Oh, that's a very hard question. Maybe maybe the hummingbird is a very special one for me, because it really makes a difference in my life. Because before that, I mean, I was like just a dot making 3D, and when I did the hummingbird, people just noticed who I was. Actually, I have a nice memory from Bogota with Ricardo, and he greeted me by the hummingbird in a Chaos Rip Eden there in Bogota when I was living. It was what years ago? Like
Yes.
5 years, 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
around that.
yeah, and also the hummingbird I was featuring in a few 3D art magazines. Yeah, it's a nice project with a sentimental value for me.
That's so nice. Yeah, I love your
Mm.
work. It was so when I see the first time your jobs, it was like, oh, I have to follow this guy
Oh, thank you.
They are
on
so cute.
Instagram.
I love it. So I have a question too.
Sure.
Not a question. I would like to tell us if you have some advice for beginners who want to enter in on this industry.
Well, I mean, maybe my advice is to try to understand that you never stop learning, that be open to tools, and the tools doesn't make you better or worse artists. That is just tools that could change through the time. and try to focus and keep your fundamentals alive, to have like a nice eye and be know about this criteria to know what's wrong, what's good. And that's not coming from learning lots of tools, it's learning actual fundamentals. So I really recommend to people starting into 3D art to really keep an eye in his fundamentals. That's what makes the difference, because you can learn lots of tools and techniques, but if you don't have like fundamentals in the right position, your stuff will never look as it should be.
That's so
Perfect.
great. We have some
Understand.
questions from the public, and one is in Spanish. Maybe you can answer that one in Spanish. The question is, si se pudiera hacer una pregunta, ¿cómo lidiar con la frustración en un lugar, en un trabajo tan creativo y demandante?
I have.
Pero es la que hizo Rich, creo, hace un rato, ¿no?
It was the same
Okay.
one. No,
Yeah,
that
Sin
one is
one, pero
burnout, but that one is different because that one is burnout. But that one is
okay.
more about how you, because you work in ILM, and in ILM sometimes we know that you have productions, big production that can be frustrating and very demanding. How you deal with it, like when you receive one show and then how you are like, oh, okay, what you do? It's like, oh,
Oh, well, Spanish or English?
en español, si quieres. Esa pregunta fue en español.
Seguro, vale. Recuerdo que mis primeros meses en ILM fueron bastante overwhelming por la cantidad de información, por muchas cosas que yo no sabía. Yo no sabía Katana, yo a duras penas sabía Mari, y, y entré a trabajar en Rings of Power, lo cual me tomó por sorpresa, hacer cosas que yo nunca había hecho, y estaba un poco frustrado y a la vez asustado, y es normal, y yo creo que lo mejor que se puede hacer cuando haya frustración es apoyarse en tus compañeros de trabajo. Como te digo, esto no lo hace solo, esto lo hace un equipo, y siempre va a haber alguien con más experiencia y demás que te va a dar la mano, y es importante saber levantar la mano y decir, hey, necesito ayuda, me está pasando esto, porque seguramente habrá quien te dé la mano, y es importante saber reconocer esos momentos cuando ya no, de verdad no te sientes capaz, y pedir la mano. Además que esos momentos cuando alguien capacitado, alguien que de verdad sabe cómo es, te va a guiar y te va a decir cómo son las cosas, y ahí es cuando aprendes. Así que yo creo que lo primero sería eso. Y también pensar que eres parte de un equipo, siempre eso es muy importante para mí. Es como respecto a Mora es freelance, yo soy un dude de una compañía grande, porque me gusta sentirme parte de un equipo grande. Y pues yo soy consciente que entre más, o sea, siendo parte de un equipo hago cosas como, no sé cómo decirlo, más grandes, y eso me emociona muchísimo. Así que mi
That's
consejo es
so
eso.
nice.
great.
Great, that was amazing. We have more questions for you, Christian.
Yeah.
These are in English, by the way.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Christian, have you fixed time a week for improve personal work, or only when you have time? Actually, I can see your guitar.
My guitar.
Yes.
My guitar. Yeah,
In the background.
Yeah.
yeah, actually, for my personal job, it depends. Back in the day, I used to have the scene of rushing myself with personal stuff, and that was quite a bad practice, because one of the nice things about personal stuff is that you can manage your own way, go slow and really enjoy the process. And you have the right to fail, you can do it wrong and say, okay, I will try again. So, unless you really need to make new portfolio pieces, I don't recommend you to have deadlines for your personal stuff, because it's not the idea, I recommend, so I try to, once of the week, maybe on weekends, it depends on what I'm doing, what plans do I have, to give a chance to my personal stuff. Sometimes I do stuff that I never publish, that is just things that I want to try. Maybe I want to try shaders this way. I want to do a lighting template this way. I want to try this thing in Houdini. And sometimes it's not about what I'm doing, it's what I learned. So I really don't have a deadline for my personal stuff.
And what about the guitar?
A guitar is a huge part of my life, I really recommend everyone to have a hobby, whatever it could be. and live a life, because we all love to spend time on the computer making stuff. But I also recommend you to go out and have a life because we are recreators of life. How can we recreate life if we don't have a life?
Ooh, that's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very great
Nice.
advice. Sometimes we are like, oh, I have a
Forget.
deadline. I have to finish, and I forget about my life. That's a good
Yes.
advice, by the way. Thank you, Christian. I don't
Okay.
know
Thank you.
who else.
So, Rick,
Actually, could you be so kind as to share again your slide of your personal projects? Because we want to do something.
Again,
Could you, yes, could you share your screen again?
sure thing.
Because actually,
Just the slide where my personal projects are, right?
yes, the slide, that's this one,
This one.
that one. And
that
great. So, because I want to, or we want to do this.
Thank you so much. You appreciate
Great
it.
job. Great, great job.
Yeah, this is great.
Congratulations,
Thank
Chris.
you so much.
Are
You
amazing.
appreciate it.
yeah,
So
beautiful.
let's move, Rich.
Yes. Okay. I think we have to. Okay. I think it's time to show you guys. Thanks so much, Christian, for
Christian,
this
Thank you so much,
Thank
experience,
you.
awesome.
for your
Christian.
presentation.
Thanks for you
And
for
I
having me,
think
guys.
great.
Thank you
I think it's
so
time to show you guys the Latin American showreel. But we want to thank all artists for sharing your artwork with us. Really appreciate it. So, mm, staff, could you be so kind as to play?
Ooh, wow. I'm so excited for these videos.
Thank you guys for sharing
Yeah, thank you.
your
much miss.
artworks.
Thank,
Uh,
thank you to
okay,
all the artists that share with us your videos. I know you are behind the cameras. We were asking several from many countries like Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, Venezuela. So thank you so much. Muchas
Peru.
gracias. Perú, Mérida, los de Mérida son
Desde
populares.
Mérida. De
Muchas
Mérida
gracias a
aquí.
todos. Yeah.
See, actually, we can take 5 minutes to speak in Spanish for our community. Ok, bueno,
Yeah.
muchas gracias a todas las personas y artistas que nos mandaron sus trabajos. Sé que son pocos de tantos los que hay. Sé que muchos de los artistas que nos están mirando pues están ocupados, tienen su tiempo en sus proyectos profesionales y bueno, no podemos o no pueden tal vez destinar mucho de su tiempo. También agradecemos muchísimo a las comunidades que nos están siguiendo. Saludos, muchos saludos para la comunidad de Hablamos Caos de Facebook, que también nos están siguiendo. Saludos a todos ustedes. Y bueno, vamos a tomar estos 5 minutos para hacer una pregunta en general también para nuestros invitados, que sería, ¿cuál es la pregunta, Tana?
La pregunta es, ¿cómo lograron dar el salto de trabajar de forma local en su país o ciudad a ir a otro país o a una compañía grande? Esa es la pregunta.
Podemos expandirla para quienes también en el contexto de la pandemia sobre cómo surgió toda esta oportunidad de trabajar en modo home office hacia afuera, ¿no? Entonces, ¿cuál sería la primera? Bueno, la primera la de Nancy.
La primera la de Nancy,
el salto, sí.
¿Cómo dan el salto?
Eso.
Igual y para Isaac o Cristian, cualquiera de ustedes dos que ustedes trabajan en Industrial Light and Magic, que muchos son curiosos de cómo das ese punch o cómo le hacen para llegar a otra empresa tan grande como es ILM.
Fue una combinación de insistencia y networking, básicamente. Okay. Y pues de preparar un reel acorde y también de timing, saber cuándo necesitan a alguien y aplicar. Pues más o menos, y suerte, siendo honesto.
Okay.
Y por ejemplo, Isaac o Fer, por ejemplo tú, Fer, que yo sé que has trabajado para compañías o para empresas top, ¿cómo le has hecho tú para poder llegar a ese tipo de clientes, por ejemplo, que ya son nivel intenso, muy grandes?
Pues sí, creo que un poco viene también de perseguir el sueño, ¿no? Siento que mucha gente que está iniciando tiene como esa expectativa siempre, ¿no? De hacia dónde voy a ir, cómo lo logro, soy lo suficiente bueno para llegar hacia allá, pero pues justo como mencionaban ahorita, ¿no? Creo que es un tema de no dejar tu sueño, de seguirlo, de estar todo el tiempo. Digo, hace rato preguntaban acerca de los hobbies, ¿no? A veces es bien difícil poder separar la familia del trabajo, de lo que te gusta hacer. Digo, obviamente en mi trabajo yo siempre he dicho que no es trabajo, ¿no? A mí me encanta lo que hago y yo me divierto. Me pagan por hacer lo que me divierte hacer, ¿no? Entonces, creo que viene de ahí, es insistir, es siempre cuando se lo comento a alumnos o que doy pláticas, siempre digo que esto es como una maratón, ¿no? O sea, aquí no compites contra nadie más que contigo mismo, ¿no? Entonces, todo el tiempo te vas entrenando y vas mejorando y vas cumpliendo ciertas metas para tener un reel o para tener cosas que mostrar que sean mucho más competitivas a nivel mundial, ¿no? Y ahorita con lo de la pandemia justo se abrieron muchas puertas, ¿no? Hubo un boom muy importante de contenidos, entonces pues creo que eso también le permitió a muchos artistas pues mostrar su trabajo y poder participar de proyectos pues grandes, ¿no? O de otros estudios. Digo, en mi caso yo tengo mi empresa, ¿no? Aquí, entonces, pero más bien yo junto con mi equipo cumplimos el sueño de trabajar en proyectos de ese estilo en conjunto, ¿no? Entonces también es padre, porque es como una familia aquí, que todos vamos juntos y vamos avanzando y vamos desarrollando, ¿no? Y pues nuestros propios proyectos también.
Claro. Oye, Isaac, ¿podrías tú platicarnos un poquito sobre esta experiencia que tuviste? Bueno, yo les puedo decir que conozco a Isaac desde hace tiempo, su talento que ha mostrado, porque también para las comunidades de Latinoamérica, Isaac, siendo estudiante, ganó el concurso de nuestro Study Rendering Challenge de Chaos. No recuerdo si fue el primero o el segundo en la edición. Entonces, ya tiene, a pesar de ser nuevo, ser joven, bueno, parte de los artistas jóvenes ya tiene algunas experiencias con respecto a entrar a la industria a nivel global. ¿Podrías platicarnos un poquito, Isaac, sobre cómo fue esta parte de llegar a ILM? Que por cierto, ya ahorita vamos a ir después a su presentación, no se la pierdan,
Sí.
va a ser increíble.
Sí, no, realmente yo estaba graduándome. Para graduar te pedían un demo reel y justo coincidió que casi al graduarme salió este challenge de Chaos. Era crear una ciudad del futuro. No me acuerdo cuál era el tema exactamente, pero era algo por ahí. Y yo estaba haciendo un demo reel muy, muy similar a ese tema. Entonces solo fue cuestión de adaptar un poco las ideas para que marcharan con el concurso y ya lo subí. Digo, realmente yo ya tenía 90% del proyecto hecho y nada más fue cuestión de migrarlo y adaptarlo a las reglas del concurso. Una vez me gradué, conseguí trabajo en MPC Montreal, pero paralelo a eso, ILM ya tenía un poco el ojo en mí. Entonces, solo estuve 4 meses en MPC Montreal y de ahí es cuando ILM me contacta y 4 meses después de irme a Montreal, pues me voy a Vancouver, a ILM. Entonces, sí, mucho tuvo que ver todo el trabajo que estuve poniendo en internet. Obviamente ayudó mucho el concurso que gané en Chaos, pero también había puesto mucho de mi otro trabajo que ya tenía y eso ayudó bastante.
Qué padre. Esto está bastante chido. Bueno, estamos hablando con nuestras jergas mexicanas. Porque
De hecho,
me da muchísimo gusto que hay talento joven trabajando en las grandes ligas, ¿no? Entonces eso es motivación, es inspiración para muchísimos artistas que nos están viendo, artistas de Latinoamérica, trabajando para grandes compañías, también como Mora, trabajando proyectos profesionales de gran producción como Fernando, ya lo verán, ya verán también el trabajo de Isaac. Y creo que, bueno, vamos a volver a cambiar, vamos a pasar a la parte
switcheamos.
de inglés,
Sí, yo
porque
solamente
sigue,
quería hacer una pregunta más a Mora, porque yo, cuando vi que ella estaba trabajando para Nickelodeon, también es una empresa,
por supuesto.
extranjera, y a mí me gustaría saber cómo fue que ella o ellos la llamaron, porque está muy interesante cómo Nickelodeon dio contigo. Obviamente tu trabajo te representa y obviamente es algo que a ellos les llamó la atención, pero quisiera saber cómo fue esa interacción, la primera interacción entre Nickelodeon y tú.
Bueno, la primera interacción fue mágica, no mentira. En realidad, a mí me encanta Halloween, o sea, es como es una, no sé qué tiene, hay algo maravilloso en esa celebración. Eh, Como mencioné un poquito brevemente en la presentación que hice, Halloween no se celebra en Argentina, no lo celebra nadie, es como empezó a hacerse ahora hace poquito. Um, pero yo siempre hacía una ilustración en honor a Halloween para celebrarlo y la subía en redes sociales o en mis portfolios creativos en Behance. Y me encontraron, me encontraron unos de los directores de arte, calculo que habrá seguido mi cuenta de ilustración en Instagram y vieron ahí los trabajos que yo publicaba en relación a Halloween, las cosas que armaba, combinando letras también con ilustraciones, con calaveras, calabazas, brujas, murciélagos, cosas así, bien de Halloween, y me contactaron por esos trabajos que subía en redes sociales.
Wow,
Está
Qué
qué
increíble.
padre.
genial. Sí, sí, sí.
Y muy bien
Está
merecido, la
padrísimo.
verdad.
No
Ellos
cabe
se
duda
ganones.
que hacerlo, ¿no? Hacerlo abre muchísimas puertas, estar ahí
Hacer y
Y,
intentándolo
mostrar, ¿no?
siempre.
y la
Claro,
mejor enseñanza
Claro.
que tenemos el día de hoy es publicar sus trabajos,
Exacto, enseñarlo,
enseñar
que
y
la
que no les
gente
dé
lo vea.
pena. Ahora sí,
Y
okay,
entonces,
let's change.
let's move
let's
on
go to English.
with the next speaker. Nancy,
Yeah.
you can.
So now I have the pleasure to present you an amazing artist with a lot of incredible artworks. He likes to do personal projects. Please don't stop because they are stunning. He's Isaac Zuren, and he born in Mexico City and currently living in Canada. He has been part of the VFX industry for the last 3 years, and he works in ILM Vancouver. Also, he has a video for us. So let's see the video he has prepared.
And for those who don't know me, I'm a 3D generalist at Industrial Light and Magic. I've been working on really cool shows lately, a lot of 3D and CG heavy shows, virtual production, which is all super exciting. But for this small presentation, I wanted to showcase a personal project that I happened to finish a couple days ago. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to really show my process or how I approach this kind of environments. So yeah, without anything further to say, enjoy. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this side project. I worked on this for a little bit over 3 months. And the thing that really captivated me was the fact that this city was so insane. In case you don't know, this is the Aztec capital. It was basically a city floating in the middle of a lake, and at its peak it had like a little bit over 200,000 people living in there. So that's really crazy to think about. And also the fact that it hasn't received a lot of attention in film. You know, we have seen a couple of shows lately, but nothing is super accurate so far. So I wanted to really push that to the next level and create the most realistic version of Tenochtitlan that has ever been created. I know as a fact that there's still a lot of things that are missing from the city. I had to cut a lot of content because I didn't have the time and resources to do that. But this is super, super close. And I want to believe that this is super close to how the city actually looked. So yeah, this is all the references. And this is just a little bit of the reference. I have more and more spreadsheets of these kind of images that I just gathered to try to get the look right. So yeah. It's pretty cool to see how artists interpret the city through time. So here is a very, very rough render of the terrain, super far away. You can see the city, it's here, super tiny. But it's just to show how the scene looked in general. And how I did is, I got this terrain from Blender. I went to, there's an add-on called OpenStreetMap that lets you download terrain data, either in form of geometry or height maps. The downside is that it's very low polygon, so I had to export that and import it to Gaia, which is a terrain creation tool. And there I was able to really refine, polish, and make the terrain super realistic, which is, as you can see, it has really nice details, very organic, that you wouldn't get with just downloaded data. So this was enough just to import it to 3ds Max and start adding procedural shaders. And just as a fact, like this this here, it's nowadays Mexico City, so there's no lake. It's completely gone, and this is all covered in city. In fact, if I go to the render here, we can compare before and after. This is the city, how it looked, and nowadays this is roughly the same area, the same location. This is how it looks now. So it's completely gone. It's completely different. There's no lake. It's just that infinite horizon of concrete. So yeah, that's a cool fact there. And then here is another view from the city, from above. So you can see how I structured the buildings, the commercial areas, the market here, and the central plaza. Then everything else pretty much either farms, where people lived, houses. So yeah, another cool view from the city. In terms of shaders and materials, I went fully procedural just to save as much time as possible. So I did this render this is a very simplified version of the actual shader I use, but it's enough to demonstrate how it works. It basically just simulates slopes, cliffs, areas with sand and beaches, for example, which is not quite a beach because it's a lake bed. It kind of like simulates that erosion. It also will simulate like foam, as you can see, very close to the coastline, and seaweed floating around, which I think it's really cool. It really sells the idea that we're on a lake, especially with all this random seaweed appearing. So as you can see how the shader behaves, just reacts to the terrain going through the water. So I think it's pretty cool. It's not super detailed because we never see the terrain this close. It's super far away. So I didn't care too much about like texture resolutions and all, because I knew it was gonna be far. But yeah, this is a very, very simple example of how the terrain was created. So here is the scene running inside 3ds Max. As you can see, everything is very smooth, very light. Reason is because I'm running everything through proxies, and then I'm splitting the entire scene into sub-scenes and then referencing those into one master file. And that will make everything just so much efficient and cleaner, and less of a headache when it comes to optimizing, renaming stuff. So yeah, that helped a lot. Another key part of creating the city was these logs. So every island has this structure of logs surrounding it that keeps the island on float and in position. So I needed to find a way to do this the most quicker and efficient way. And I went to Blender, and with the new geometry nodes, which are amazing by the way, you're able to create everything automatically and procedurally. And it's so easy. I know the node graph at the bottom looks very complex, but it really isn't. It's just what this small script is doing is grabbing the splines and then adding points to those splines and then replacing the points with geometry, that in this case are the logs. And I also added some extra things like terrain, deformation, to add more randomness to it. So as you can see, I just go here, I just one click, activate geometry nodes, and boom, everything it's done really easily. You can see like it creates all the structure of logs around every single island, and also at the terrain inside with deformation. And it's so simple, just like clicking one of the splines and adding the geometry node script, and it will do it that easy. It's not that hard to learn, so I will really recommend to start jumping to Blender and start learning this kind of cool tools and techniques. It's super useful. And finally here I'm just demonstrating how I was able to draw the islands if I wanted. I ended up using this only for 4 or 5 islands, but it was fun anyways to have this handy. And same for the bridges. They were all procedural, same technique. These are the bridges that connects the city with the exterior. So yeah, I think I couldn't have found a better tool for this work. It was amazing. And for vegetation inside the city, I manually went to Cosmos and started importing some of the palms they have, and it was enough, honestly. They look very good, and from this far, I didn't need a lot of variation. Just cloning a couple of them and rotating and scaling them. So that was very fun. That was straightforward. So you can see here how they look. Now for the crowds, they are all running in Tyflow for 3ds Max. As you can see, they are all evading obstacles. They go like they kind of like follow a path, but once they reach their final destination, they will slowly stop and idle, which is kind of rough if you see it this close, but just considering how far the camera is, there's no way you will notice any of this. Same thing for the boats. This was a lot simpler. They're just the fishing boats just wandering around, moving left to right. Nothing crazy here. And then here you see the result of the crowds. That really pays off all the tiny details there. Finally, the smoke, which is a very important element because from far away it's the only thing that's moving inside the city. So yeah, this is just simple cylinder, a mission, and just Phoenix FD just do all the work. I did like 4 or 5 of these, so it became a little heavy inside the scene, but it really helps to sell the mood that the city is alive and breathing. And finally, the question that I've been asked a lot is how long it took to render the whole sequence. And I originally wanted to render this on a render farm, but the fact that this is a very long shot with over 1,000 frames, it was just so expensive for a side project. So I had to render this on my 2 machines, and it took almost a month to render everything. One machine was rendering every day and night, and the machine that I used was just running at nights. But yeah, it took a while. And it's not only the beauty, the 1,000 frames of the beauty, then you have to render the volumetrics, extra passes. So it starts piling up as the scene becomes more complex. There's quite a lot of noise in the scene, especially on the vegetation and the trees. You'll see it if you look really close. But it is what it is. I mean, it's a personal project. It doesn't have to be perfect. And on the very top, it has to be fun and enjoyable. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I probably will take a break from ambitious projects for the rest of the year. I'll go back to tiny experiments. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. I know it's not the entire process, but it's just a little bit of everything, so you understand how I do these kinds of environments. So thanks a lot for hearing this, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Wow, fantastic.
That was amazing, Isaac.
That was just
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah, actually, we have a lot of questions about
A
it.
lot.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Some questions are actually already answered in your presentation, but we have another one like, what are the specs of your machine, your computer?
It's I mean, it's beefy machine, but it's not like crazy beefy. Like I have a 380 RTX 380 Ti, and then for the processor I have a Threadripper. It's a 2nd generation. I think it's 16 cores, 32 threads, which nowadays is very standard. And then 64 gigabytes of RAM. So yeah, but then most of it comes through the optimization of the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, I think I agree. The key is optimization, the workflow, the right
Totally.
workflow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So Isaac, I really loved your project. That just blew my mind.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing. And I have a question for you. How do you manage your time to develop this kind of projects in you mentioned that you did it in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I want to know how do you organize your time to do it?
Well, no social life. No,
Okay.
yeah, this is it's hard. Yeah, because you have to balance that. You usually try to put like 2 to 3 hours every day, and then weekends probably a little more, like maybe 5 hours. Um, but it's about, yeah, balance, because um, you have to put time to do other things. Like, actually, I try to do exercise, to go. I like to run, so everything I had to be packed with my schedule and really plan ahead. And if one day I couldn't work on it, I mean, it was not big deal. I don't have a deadline. I don't have clients. It's just my own personal project. But at one point, the project was so big that I needed to finish it like the sooner, because otherwise it's gonna start becoming more complex and more complex. One point I say like, okay, I have to finish in 1 month, and whatever I have in 1 month, that's it. Like, I'll finish it. So yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you put yourself your own deadline, right?
Yeah, otherwise it's just gonna be crazy.
it's an
Like,
forever project.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's so
happens a
nice.
lot.
We have another question here that wow, great work. What is your workflow and optimization? I think it's the same, right? Like your assets and props, probably like how you manage like all the assets. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of, I think, a lot of dynamic geometry like praxis.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And then decide what should be high polygon and low polygon, like,
Yeah.
because that will save you a lot of information in terms of data storage, rendering times. So yeah, it's very important to like really plan ahead, like what's based on how where the camera is, um, what buildings or assets or props will be more hero and which not.
That's so nice. And I'm also so interested because it's about the Aztecs. I'm also from Mexico City
Mhm.
and I love the idea of the topic. So when this idea came to you about to do about the city, about Mexico City. So
I I remember, I don't
Yeah,
know, actually, I think I was watching a documentary on YouTube, and one comment said like, I would love to see this like in real life. I was like, oh yeah, no, this doesn't really
let's do
exist.
this.
Yeah, and I did a lot of research of like what artists have done that or what shows, and there's a couple of them, but none of them are accurate, like, or 100% accurate to, or historically accurate. So I was like, okay, maybe I can be the first one to actually do it, how it's supposed to look. So I went for it.
oh, it
Yeah.
was amazing. And then the first time that I watched it was like, wow,
Yeah,
this is
it was
crazy.
a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, so I don't know. We have more questions. Yeah, we have one. How you did your project? Very impressive. And one good reference for me and maybe for other artists about the fog. How you did that?
The fog
Uh,
is kind of okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The fog is a mix of sea depth, which it's a very, I mean, it's a channel that's universal, not render engines. And then I'm using like BDVs, which is it's like universal file format for volumes. Um, and V-Ray is really good at it. It works really good with VDVs. Some VDVs I already had a library, but others, if you really look close to the horizon, some of the fog in the background is moving. So I had to use Phoenix to like create that moving fog at the background. But it's mostly VDVs. That's what sells the effect.
That's so nice. And
Okay.
I understand that you are a generalist and ILM. So I'm also very interested because I know that you do matte painting, and I
Yeah.
can see here in your work that you made some matte painting for the mountains. So what is your decision what to do 3D and what to do matte painting?
Yeah, I was originally planning to use a lot more matte painting, but then when I started laying out the camera and seeing how much the camera moved, I it was gonna be so hard to do matte painting because there's so much parallax on the camera. So I had to went almost everything is CG, unless like the very far mountains at the back. Um, that's not painting, but that was very easy to do. So it's up to you to decide. If you want to save time, you can just do matte painting. But in this particular project, and due to the context of the camera movements, I had to do everything CG. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's so
So,
great.
so Isaac, you said you made everything
Yeah.
on your project. So I want to know what you enjoyed most doing in your project and what you don't like to do.
What I like, I think the most enjoyable part is when you hit render and it looks good. because
Obviously.
Yes, I
because
agree.
Yeah.
it's very
Good,
frustrating
good
when you're
answer.
like rendering and it looks very CG or it looks fake. But
Yes.
that one click when you do render and you hit render and finally it starts looking good, it's like, okay, it's the best part, I think. Um, what I don't like the most, I think it's
Yes.
the first part, like laying out, like organizing the scene, like seeing
Mm,
what's going to be priority in your list of modeling and texturing. Like that first part, it's a little bit tedious, but
mhm.
once you pass that, it's uphill. I mean, it's very easy to do. um, well, not very easy, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. More fluid.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So,
Yeah, and we have
mm,
one more question, but this is
Okay.
in Spanish. Maybe it would be nice to answer this one in Spanish.
Mhm.
Tengo 29 años. ¿Será un poco tarde para comenzar y llegar a una buena empresa como ustedes?
No, no, de hecho, o sea, cuando yo estaba estudiando, hice un año en Vancouver Film School. um, Había gente de 35, había hasta, iba a decir un chavo, pero ya tenía 40. Estaba ahí porque había terminado de pagar la universidad de sus hijos y ya tenía tiempo para él y decidió
Wow.
meterse a estudiar
qué
VFX.
padre.
Y ahorita está en un estudio aquí en Vancouver estudiando en una empresa.
Ay, qué
Entonces, no,
hermoso.
sí, no, no hay edad, se puede aprender.
Qué genial.
Tengo chance entonces.
Total.
Vas que vuelas.
Sí, ¿verdad? Sí, me estoy atrasando, pues.
Es que es increíble, es muy inspirador este tipo de trabajo, saber que lo has hecho tú solo en estos 3 meses. El problema que tenemos muchos artistas es ¿cómo le llamamos? A ver,
Procra-
dígame, ¿por qué no lo sé decir en español?
Procrastinar,
Procrastinar.
procrastinar, procrastinan.
Procrastinar. Sí, y entonces definir bien los tiempos para desarrollar nuestros proyectos personales van a ser increíbles, ¿no? Es súper motivante. Yo tengo otra pregunta, no sé si sea, ok, esta será en inglés para la
Yeah,
audiencia general.
sure.
Do you have further plans of this project or that's it? It's done.
I don't know. I mean, people liked it on the internet. They wanted to see more. I honestly don't think I'm
Yes.
gonna
I
do that.
want
I
to
I
would
would
see
love
more.
like to see more, actually.
Yes, me
I
too.
want
to,
to see more.
but I honestly don't know how much more I can squeeze this project. Probably, I know I caught a lot of content. The city is supposed to be like 30 to 40% bigger, so maybe. Um, but I'll take my time now for this because
Yeah,
yeah.
it takes time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so thank you so much, Isaac.
thank
This was
you.
amazing. We enjoyed a lot your presentation, but yeah, we have to
We have to
right
continue.
now. Yeah, we have to continue the show,
Thanks.
and right now. Fernando is our next speaker, and I'm so excited to introduce him because He has a very interesting biography. He has 20 years of experience in the visual effects industry with a very awesome background as a digital matte artist and VFX supervisor. He has worked on many international projects and has been nominated twice a Los Arieles. Los Arieles is the recognized the best of Mexican cinema. Yo te deseo lo mejor, Fer, porque es
Go Fer.
son próximamente esos premios. And the best of all is that Fer is we share the best taste is that we are fans of Star Wars. Star Wars. I know right now Christian he shared that also is a fan of Star Wars, but I love you. You have to see his background when we are on meetings with her. He has amazing collection of toys. So yeah, let's enjoy Fernando's presentation. So let's play the video, please.
I still remember clearly when I received the call from Ulises Guzman, one of the producers, to invite us to be part of this sci-fi anthology. We will be 9 directors, he said. I'm immediately accepted. The only rule is that it has to represent our culture, our country, and our people, he said. But I also remember the different voices of people telling us, that can be done, and if it is done, it will be badly done. I was the novel director who had never done anything known, and that was intimidating. But I was the one who had more experience in VFX, and that gave me confidence. Our film El Camino started as an idea, a dream, but the dream was so big. How will we make a hard science fiction film after no one in Mexico had dared to do it? I immediately say, if we are going to do it, let's do something memorable. Let's risk everything. Let's make it an adventure that we won't regret. And that's how it all started. My specialty in Jaime's caso is environment artist. This project challenged us to explore and create environments without any creative restrictions. This blew our minds. We started writing about the different places we will see in the film, from the mine inside the asteroid, the hangars, to the interiors of the ship. We didn't put limits on the details. We generate many levels of scale, weathering, damage, utility light, in everything. El Camino, our main asset, was a hard work of 6 months done by Jaime Jasso and Raúl Campos. From concept to final modeling, we wanted to achieve a look that reflects a retrofuturistic cargo vehicle. This made the kit bashing and the materials issue more complicated. Instead of using UV wraps, we choose to work with procedural materials with hyperrealism using triplanar materials and Mora Vieytes in order to improve our times. This resulted in an emblematic ship of which we are more than proud. This 3D character was thought to replace the head and the arms of our live-action actor. We want him to be a cyborg since we add some human behaviors such as smoking. The challenge was to animate him based on the live-action actor's performance, so we used the motion capture by frame technique. Likewise, all the gears and pistons were modeled and designed in such a way that they were functional as they will be in real life. Having real environments, the reflection and incidence in the material were very important, so we captured them with 360 cameras to get the right light and the reflections, and achieve a character with hyper-real quality. In conclusion, there are so many artists, so much talent, and so many processes involved that to mention them all will take me hours. I just want to thank everyone involved and you for listening to me.
Hey, what's up, mi rojo? How's business? Someone told me you actually had a big gig near Mars.
No es lo mismo. Mis permisos de carga están algo limitados.
Sigues odiando el inglés. ¿Qué si te dijera que te tengo un cargamento que podría sacarte de todos tus problemas?
No sé. Le prometí a Rob que pasaríamos tiempo en casa.
¿Qué pasó, mi Rush? Tú no eras así. ¿Qué te hicieron? Les dije que tú eras el mejor.
Está bien, Teo. Tú ganas. Mándame las coordenadas.
Eso, así se habla. Con esto quedamos a mano, ¿ah? Cambio y fuera.
Mining site location coordinates received.
esta será la última y estaremos del otro lado, mija. Te lo prometo. Hola, tengo el contrato 320.
Unidad JX4224.
¿Qué? ¿Nada más es esto?
Solo yo estoy autorizado a tocar el contenedor. ¿Entendido? Debo transportarme con la carga. Las coordenadas y permisos están codificados en el token.
Ni te emociones, chatarra. Esto va a ser rápido. No quiero que te encariñes con mi nave ni conmigo.
Le informo que esta conversación está siendo grabada para futuras evaluaciones.
Pinche chatarra, mamón.
¿De verdad? ¿Un robot armado?
Yo tampoco sabía.
¿Estás bien, Pa?
No es nada. Despeguemos la nave. Yo solo quiero largarme de aquí. No quiero que te acerques a la bodega, ¿ok?
No es como que quiera bajar a saludar al robot.
Estoy hablando en serio, Robin.
Ok.
Approximate cruising time left, 48 hours. Preparing to enter autopilot mode. After crossing the gate, the ship will prepare for landing on Earth automatically. Cruising time left, 24 hours. Locked door. Thank you for using gate 34 to Earth. Please prepare the according 100 credit fee.
Desde que subió la carga no te ves bien. Tengo que arreglarlo.
Rob.
Alert. Unstable element detected in home. Take precautions.
Robin. Robin, ¿me escuchas? Robin, ¿estás bien?
No, déjala. Es mi hija.
Activa el protocolo de emergencia. Ahora.
...10:30-24 alerta. 10:30-24 alerta, ¿me escuchan?
Alert. Explosive device detected. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 1.
Aquí Rojo, el conductor de la nave de transporte El Camino. Mi vagón contenedor explotó junto con la carga. El robot que la custodiaba y... Rov... No puedo hacerlo. Si alguien me escucha... Mis coordenadas son 123, 1245.
Speechless.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great
You guys
piece.
don't stop to blowing us our minds.
Yes,
yeah.
actually,
And this is
what we
so
all
great.
dream it to create a
Yes,
piece of this.
I would say, Fair, this is the dream of a lot of people and in Latin America, or not also in Latin America, in too many countries around the world. And I'm so proud that how what you created, because you can see right now something that you used to see only in movies like in Hollywood, and right now you created this incredible film also with all the talented artists that are behind the actors. I know Jaime Jasso was involved, I know Raúl Campos, also they are amazing artists. So thank you so much for showing us this today. It was an amazing presentation. I'm so shocked.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there's a lot of people involved in this project, but I think um, the project was made with a lot of love, with a lot of talent, with a lot of great artists. So we use a lot of techniques. So we put all our knowledge in make this happen, and, and I think that's all I have to say.
And I have a small question. Maybe it's not too small because I know that there are some artists that they just graduated from a small, like for example, film school. I don't know how you call it. Which advice would you do to these new creators that wants to achieve something that you show us today?
Yeah, as I say in the video, a lot of people told us that this kind of project that can be made. So I want to tell everyone that if you want to make it, you can make it. So I think it's a question that follow your dreams, that be persistent and has that confidence in your talent, in your team, or because this is a big project, but I think you can make any kind of project, a small project, a big project, a steel frame, anything. If you believe in you, and I think that's it.
That's so great.
Great.
Thank you so much for this.
Yes, yes.
And how this project began? I mean, the idea, how it
The
started.
idea is this project belongs to a sci-fi anthology. It's a movie.
Okay.
The name of the movie is Aztec. So they invite us and they let us to create anything that we want to create with a space thematic. So um, I like a lot sci-fi, and I when I go driving or when I go walking, I'm always uh, thinking in how how we're going to fit in the near future when the space travel be able. So we create this story. This is as we call in Mexico, is a trailero. He's a guy that do travels, shipping things, and so that's the main idea of this project. Then we work with a lot of artists, and they also apport with ideas, with his talent, and that's the result.
Great.
Amazing.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing with us your knowledge, your passion, your projects. This is amazing, inspiring for a lot of CG artists. We are closing this chapter.
Yeah, so sad.
So
I
sad.
know.
Yes.
We would like to be one more
I want
hour
to see
here.
more.
Yes.
Yeah, with more questions because I know that all your knowledge is so valuable that like you inspire too many people outside. I do believe like you right now would one guy is watching you and is like, oh, I want to do that for life.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I
For
can see
sure.
that. So
Okay.
We
Sorry,
have the
sorry for.
winners.
yes,
Yes.
we have to say the winners for the week giveaways.
Yes. I think you have the names.
So,
Yes, we have the first winner. So the winner of the raffle is Karen Roset from Mexico. Muchas felicidades.
Congrats.
congratulations. And also, we have another winner of the social media. The Twitter user is Luco. So,
Congrats.
congratulations.
So
Congratulations,
I'm
Luca.
Yeah.
gonna put a music that we put in Mexico when somebody
Yes.
wins. So this is for you guys.
I,
Yes. And I need to show this.
eh. Congratulations, winners. I don't know what happened. This is green. Should be green.
I hope you enjoy it. This is very Mexican. So
Exactly.
yeah,
So
so thank you so much for all our speakers. It was amazing to
Thank
having you
you.
here, and thank you Chaos Group for inviting us to again for the third
Again.
year.
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys.
Correct.
Please, our audience, keep tuned for the next show for more amazing and inspiring presentations. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
we hope
Thank
to
you
see
for your
you next
time,
time.
everyone. Yes, and all the team behind all of this. So, thank
Okay,
Thank
you.
you.
thank you
Bye
guys.
bye.
See
See
you.
you.
Bye.